Hi, this is Adnan, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Rambling of an Analyst. And in today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Grab and how Grab, as a company, we could see their stock price actually move sideways. And then after that, what eventually happened was the stock price went up and there was an eventual sell down with regards to that particular stock. So in this episode, I guess I'm going to just talk a little bit about Grab from my point of view as being someone that actually lived or is currently living in the Southeast Asian region, and also being lucky enough to be within the financial industry as an analyst for the past 15 years. So in this episode, I'm gonna talk a little bit about. I'm just going to give you that flair of I guess the story behind the numbers, right? So basically, when we look at Grab as a company, right? So, how we're going to divide this particular episode, we're going to divide it into three. Number one, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of the company. Number two, we're going to talk a little bit about Grab being a super app, and what is this super app. And right now, if we have been looking at the press releases or also the news outlet, Grab has been talking about how they are a super app and how they're going to actually use that particular positioning to help grow that particular company. And finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about whether Grab maybe whether is a good company to invest in. So these are the three main areas we're going to talk a little bit this evening. So number one, to begin with, the history of Grab, right? So many years ago, right, before Grab came in, getting a cab was a very painful process. And I still remembered that one of three things may happen. The first thing that may happen is that, number one, we try to hail a cab and the cab may have someone in the cab, right? That's the first thing. The second thing which may happen is that if once we hail the cab, but it's empty, right? So I'm super duper excited. But having said that, what may happen is that if the destination is too close, the cab driver may not even want to take me over there. It's just too it's too much of a hassle for him. Or if the destination is too far for him, what he may do also is he may not want to take me to that particular destination. So even though the cab is empty, what may happen is that the cab driver may opt not to take me towards that particular location. That's the second thing that may happen. And the final thing that may happen is that I might get a cab, right? So, but this is a 1 out of 3 chance, right? And truth be told, right, many a times when I wanted to go from one location to the next location, sometimes hailing a cab can be a very tedious process. Sometimes it may take 30 minutes to 1 hour just to hail a cab. Just for me going to that particular location. Imagine from that location coming back to my house. Very painful process, needless to say. So this is where us as Malaysians, or me as a Malaysian, when I wanted to stop a cab, it was a cumbersome process. And this was where, I guess, services or solutions like Grab and Uber came and totally disrupted the market. And what happened was the cab industry within this country, the landscape changed as Grab and also Uber came into the industry. And all of a sudden, it was so much easier to get a cab. And when Grab started, they started as My Taxi, I think, back in the day. And since that particular model was so successful, they exported that particular model outside of Malaysia to the rest of the ASEAN region, right? So this is where Grab, as a nucleus of a company, we could see already that they have been growing as a company, right? So that's the first thing, the history of Grab. So when we talk about the super app, aside from Grab bringing people back and forth as a delivery company, the next thing that Grab does is that they also help deliver food, right? And over here, I'd like to share a small little experience during the whole pandemic when Malaysia just kind of, didn't allow people to move that much. And what happened was even the vendors were struggling. So when people could not interact businesses, right? What happened was that when interaction dropped, what happened was that even the revenues dropped for most of these companies. And when revenues dropped, it was not the funnest time for a lot of people. But needless to say, Grab also gave this particular solution to the market, whereby they would take food from vendors, cook food and also groceries from the markets and deliver it to our houses. So that's the second thing that Grab offers as a super app. And the final thing Grab offers as a super app is that they also are looking towards giving fintech services or financial services. This is where if we could imagine this for a while, right? Now, right now, if I have some money within my Grab wallet, right, which I have not used, maybe I have $20 or $30 just lying in my Grab wallet. So if Grab actually has that particular banking license, right, what they can do is that a lot of this money which is residing in the app, right, they can opt to lend that money. And if you think about it from a banking perspective, right, what most banks do is that they actually get money from depositors, right, and they pay maybe say 1 or 2% per annum. But in exchange, what the bank does with this deposit is that they lend this money out. And over here, we can see a large spread. Assuming if it's a credit card loan, sometimes it could be 12%. So what they pay the depositors 2%, but what they earn by lending that money could be 12%. So the spread is 10%, right? So if Grab were to be, I guess, a fintech service, there'll be a revenue generator for them. Finally, if we look at even the dynamics right now on how people are being hired, a lot of younger people, I guess globally right now, they would rather opt towards moving towards the gig economy, right? And if a lot of people actually, earn their living via the gig economy, what tends to happen is that a lot of traditional banks, they don't quite understand the gig economy. And this is where Grab has an advantage. Given that Grab is one of the bigger, players which actually give people an employment within the gig economy, right? So these are the three major things, right? So if we look at it from, I guess, a macro point of view, if more and more people continue to use, transportation via Grab, this will help benefit them. And if more and more people starts to maybe find it a bit cumbersome to actually buy food from outside, what tends to happen is that maybe they may want to actually get Grab to actually buy their food from outside. And finally, if Grab actually serves the underserved people or the underserved segment of the society, i.e. the gig economy workers, this could be a catalyst for them. But having said that, like any business, there's always competitors. With regards to food delivery, there's also other competitors within the market. That's on the downside. And on top of that, there could be other incumbents coming in. And if they were to come in, maybe they may disrupt the market again by giving cheaper services. We just never know. So I just wanted to just put it out there in terms of the competition Grab may face in the coming future. So I guess right now we talked a little bit about the history. On top of that, we talked a little bit about the Grab being a super app, right? And how they position themselves in the market. And then finally, we talked a little bit about Grab's potential. And we also talked a little bit about Grab, their competitors, and what they may face or the risk they may face. Finally, we're going to talk a little bit about whether Grab, as a company, whether one should invest in this particular company. Basically, if you were to follow me in this channel, many months ago, I've always talked about this simple philosophy that if we want to invest in a stock, we always have to remember a stock is basically a share. And in this share is we are a small shareholder for this particular company, right? So if we believe that particular company would continue to grow, therefore, for every $1 that we put in, the return on investments will be there for us to actually get as a shareholder. So we always have to remember that when we want to invest in a company, we want to look at it from a view of a business owner. If we truly believe that Grab can grow in the next coming years ahead, maybe this could be a good stock to look at. This, by any means, is not any financial advice. This is only my point of view. And and this is coming from a YouTuber, which happens to be an analyst. So if you guys like this particular episode, please do give us some thumbs up. If not, do write some questions and I'll be more than happy to help answer these questions. If not, I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Take care.